Welcome to the Sunday scan. This is the scan for the week of 8th of September. And let me get started. Today's scan gonna be, or video gonna be short because there's nothing much to say. I'm still eyeing some things from last week, and yeah. So, Spy, the plan for Spy is very simple. Um, Let me just say that we are entering the window of strength this week. Van and Charm are kicking in in the markets starting this Monday. So from this week to the next week, I'm only looking for long sides. So I'm gonna look for Spy to gap up this Monday. I wanna see it retest this gap. Let's see where we open. If we open above the gap, I want to see it retest the top. If we open at the gap, I want to get this bottom range retested, and I'm gonna long it from there with the possibility to add on this trend line. This is the plan for the long side on the SPY. For the short side on SPY, I'm not gonna took it, but if we get down, I probably looked for the retest of this trend line to go short, but I'm not gonna chase the short sides this week, or maybe I will. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me see if we have some sell pressure or buy pressure, because yeah, Van and Charm is kicking in, but we are still at the beginning, so we have 2 weeks in front of us. Yeah, please, yeah, short side, it's a possibility, but I'm not looking at that to be honest. Moving on to the financial sector. This one I'm only observing. I wanna see, because if we zoom out, we are in this schematic, three high schematic that I love, and I wanna just observe if we go for a LPSY, maybe retest the high from the second high, and from this point a short side. We can see this consolidate for a little bit for these 2 weeks and test for the LPSY, but I want to observe if we, before we have the LPSY, if we have this massive volume that we saw on Friday. Yes. So I'm looking for that. I'm not looking, but observing. In studying this chart, I'm not gonna take any trades on the financial sector, but yes, I wanna see how we react to this big volume from Friday going into this week of Van and Charm. I wanna see how the LPSY form. I can go to the JP Morgan just to see an individual name looking. We have the same schematic, three higher highs with big volume, kind of at the tops. Yeah, I wanna see how it's gonna behave for these next weeks. Not the play I'm looking for. Okay. Now let's focus on some next trades I'm looking at. I'm gonna go to the energy sector. We had this breakout with low volume, so to me this was a weak break. Let me zoom out. we have this gap to fill, big one, with lots of volume, as you can see here. So yeah, I'm sure we're gonna go for the fill of this gap to grab liquidity, but we have the possibility to come down and grab some liquidity below and then go for the gap fill above. So the plan is simple. I want to see if we can test this range here, or this support. Let me see how the moving average is behaving. We have a possible golden cross on the daily. So yeah, I want to see how the market opens on Monday, but I can see it come back down to grab some liquidity below before we see the markup. But I'm almost sure we're gonna fill this gap by these next 2 weeks. I wanna take a long trades on this sector, not particularly on the index, but probably XOM. On XOM, I can see it coming down and grab this liquidity, or maybe fill this gap below. Don't ignore this please. I want to see it come down, fill this gap, and then rip and break this trend line that is coming from October. And yeah, we had a false breakout, we came down, we are now on the land of nowhere, nobody, and yeah, probably we're going down a little bit more, fill this gap, test this trend line, and then we see the mark up. So there's a possibility to take a trade. I want to see it come to these levels, and I'm going long on these levels around 104, 105, around that level. Okay, this is my energy sector play. Now let me go for one of my favorite from the last weeks. I'm seeing lots of success on this sector. That is consumer staples. Consumer staples, as you see, we are at this wedge inside of a bigger one. This one is, I can say it's a weekly one, but on the daily we have this flag, wedge, how you want to call it, but we are at the bottom bouncing with some volume, some good volume, and what I want to see is a break of this smaller wedge, retest this bigger one, and then go back up. If we do that, I will focus on Pepsi once again. I'm gonna focus on Pepsi. Maybe a retest of the moving average, the 200, and then targeting the highs. I'm not gonna be greedy. I want to target the 157, 158, but first I want to see it come down to 144, around 144, 145, and if it came down, I'm going to enter the long position on this level. So this is my play for the consumer staples. Let me just check the RSI. Yeah, RSI is testing the center line on the daily. If we go to the 1 hour, we can see it rejected the bear zone and is now at the RSI moving average. And if we break above this moving average, I can see it coming all the way down. The question is if we coming down a little bit more once again to retest the bear gap again, or if we break from this point. Let me see how the moving average is. We are at the 200 moving average. Yeah, I think we're gonna bounce from here, so probably I'm gonna take a trade on this name at the open. If we gap up a lot on the pre-market, I don't know. We have to see on Monday to see how it's gonna behave. And finally, I wanna look at the health sector. The health sector on the daily, we had this range. We talk about it on the previous videos. We are above the range, but we have two gaps below. I'm not comfortable with these gaps below, so I would like to see it coming down and filling this one at least this one before we going up. Probably a rejection of these 200s moving average coming down, filling this gap, and then grab some liquidity and go and mark up. But to be honest, let me check how Pfizer, that was my focus. I had the previous play that I was playing LPSY, and on Pfizer I would like to see it coming down, feeling this part of this gap, let me just see on the 1 hour. Yeah, feeling part of this gap, maybe making 3 lower lows before we have the markup. Let me check the volume here, okay. To be honest, I don't know if we are accumulating, so 3 lower lows. I don't know if this schematic is gonna be valid. Is another one that I'm gonna observe and study, but it will make sense if we coming down, get some liquidity on this gap. I'm not gonna target this one, the gap fill. Maybe I will target this low, and I want to add to this position, to be honest. I don't know, this one I'm not sure, so I'm gonna stay with the one contract that I have at the moment and just study this, because we look like we are in an accumulation schematic, but if we zoom in, I'm seeing all the volume at the tops. So yeah, I'm unsure about this one. So this one is the that one the energy sector is going to be my focus, and the consumer staples. I'm going to focus on these two ones, and that's it. The rest, I'm going to focus on the positions that I have open. I have a position on the phase energy. It's almost complete. It's almost at my targets. I think we're gonna see it coming all the way to my targets, and we have Intel that has this wedge that I think is more like this wedge, um, retesting the top. The breakout was with low volume, so I'm not sure that was the real breakout. So probably coming down, retest the golden pockets, retest the breakout again, and then going up. The risk to reward on this trade is very good. Is 359. So I have a position. I'm in commons, so I'm not worried with the time. And yeah, wanna get my eye on this one, but emphasis energy is my main focus to manage this position. I have a couple of contracts, and I want to close them this week because my expiration is for the OPEX of September, the 19th, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, after that, I have a position on some minor CLSK. I want to see it coming. We have the possibility to see it coming down, retest this range again, or this support again, or even lower, coming to this trend line. And I would add more at the trend line of this trend line. But to be honest, I want to see a bounce from these supports. Bitcoin is still at this wedge. I talked about it on the last week. So yeah, if we break this one, Bitcoin is coming down a lot. I want to see a bounce, retest the top for a new higher high, all-time high, and then we see a distribution. Okay, so that's it. That's my scan for this next week. Hope it's helpful for everybody. I wanna record these videos to journal my trades, and to don't forget about what I'm seeing. Don't forget anything, and yeah, and that's it. Let's get some money this week, man.